Dennis coming at you live from Six Flags over Georgia. Let's go. I am super excited to get into this park today. There are a lot of potential coaster credits for us to pick up. Right now we are sitting at 61 since I got to ride Airy Force 1 last night at Fun Spot. There's another RMC in this park. There's also this big giant one back here behind me, which I believe is called Goliath, and I think that is a contender to be my new favorite coaster. We are in and we are making our way towards Goliath, although I don't know if Georgia Scorcher's open yet. Are they letting people get on rides already? If this is open, I kind of just want to hop in it just to get on it. I feel like it's going to be busy later. I got to tell it's busy in the parking lot here. All right, so my first ride of the day is going to be front row on the Georgia Scorcher, and let me tell you, it is scorching here in Georgia today. It is like a little after 10:30, and I think it's already 90 degrees outside, so it's going to be a hot one today, but let's get on this thing, see what it's all about. Okay, first ride of the day and coaster credit number 62 for me, and it was on the Georgia Scorcher over here. That was okay. It's a standing coaster. I've never done a standing coaster before, so that was my first ever standing coaster. But still, a pretty good ride, pretty fun, and really nice that they opened it up a little bit early here, okay? Because it's not quite 11 o'clock, yet they're running this. They're not letting people into the back areas of the park yet, but since this is in the front, I guess they decided to open it up early. Maybe they always do this, I don't know, but I thought it was kind of nice because they'll knock that credit out right away. Probably not something I get on again. It's okay, a lot of inversions. Could see it being a bit of a headbanger on your ears a little bit, but overall, not a bad ride. All right, so we are on a quest to get on Goliath because I really do think that is going to be my favorite coaster in this park and another potential #1 coaster overall. Let's just see how it goes. All right, the official rope drop has happened and we are joining the mad dash here, trying to get over to Goliath first.
Yes, you guys are walking with a purpose, on a mission. There's no line up there. The park just opened. There's 3 people here. Hi. Yes. Get my good side.
Yep. Oh, there it is, Goliath. I just got two back-to-back rides on Goliath. It's pretty much a walk-on right now because I just kind of came right to it at the start. I can see though the line is starting to kind of build up here. I was in the back row and then I was a little bit closer to the front. I did notice, in fact, I was the 3rd row back from the front. It was a little shaky at times in the 3rd row. Back row was absolutely phenomenal though, really fast, lots of air time. Definitely put your hands in the air the whole time on that ride. I was actually chatting it up with some of the people I rode with the first time, and they said they actually like this better than Diamondback. After doing 2 rides on this, this is really, really good, but I do think Diamondback is better than this ride, just in my personal opinion here. All right, let's go. I'm kind of torn. Do I want to try to get on the Georgia Gold Rusher, or do we want to do the Eurofighter? We'll see. Something I'm really noticing with this park is just how nice it looks. This is probably the prettiest Six Flags park I've been in. I've only been in a little bit of it so far, but the little bit I've been in so far is really, really nice. Just well taken care of. You know, St. Louis has some really nice spots to it, and Chicago had some really cool spots to it, but this park just, it looks really pretty. Got a rapids ride down here, which will probably be very busy today. It is super hot. Like, I'm gonna have to go outside sooner rather than later to hydrate and probably reapply sunscreen. Ooh, I forgot about this. Monster Mansion. This is like a unique dark ride they have in this park. That you don't usually see a lot of dark rides in Six Flags parks. So I think after we ride the Gold Rusher ride, we're gonna have to get in line for this. Brusher ride is not open yet, so we're going to do a ride on this Joker Funhouse coaster. I think this is more of a kid's coaster, but still, this will be coaster credit number 63 for me. All right, just had a pretty fun ride on this Joker Funhouse coaster. Fun little family coaster. One thing, I liked how there were some kind of tunnels you went through on it, but I was really expecting there to be a little bit of theming in there. I like how there's just little arcade stuff in here. This is really cool. Yeah, I was expecting there to be some theming in the tunnels for it, and it was just kind of empty, and I don't know. I feel like they could really dress it up a little more with you know, especially since it's called literally a fun house. You know, you would think there'd be a little more of that. All right, let's get a ride on Monster Mansion. I think I can film on this, but I'm not 100% sure. So if I can, I'll take you guys along. Otherwise, I'll see you when I get off.
Hey y'all, it's time to make your best monster face, so smile for the party. 1, 2, 3.
Howdy, y'all. Marshal Billy Bonfritter here saying, as you travel and go, keep your hands in the boat. Oh, remember, don't miss a
No, you dang fools! This way! Stay out of the marsh! Stay out of the marsh! Oh, no!
Okay, just had an excellent ride on Monster Mansion. That was a really cool dark ride. Just lots of animatronics. I was pretty blown away by that, actually. I've heard good things about that, but I did not expect that to be as good as it was. That was really cool. I kind of want to get in line and do it again, but I also want to get on more roller coasters. So I might swing back around to this and do it later. And the cool thing about it is they let you film on it, so it's really nice, but that's just really cool. So much animatronics. Also, it is air conditioned in there and super cool. So yeah, another great thing about it. All right, we're gonna circle back around and try to get on some more roller coasters here. All right, gonna do a ride on Daredevil Dive. I've never done a dive coaster like this before. I think these are called Eurofighters, I believe. So we're gonna check it out, see what this is all about. Let's go.
Welcome to Daredevil Dive. First, store all loose articles, including bags, purses. These in front of you are closing. Yes, must be 48 inches.
Just had a pretty good ride on Daredevil Dive. That was interesting. Not my favorite thing in the park, but still pretty good. Reminded me a lot of Maverick, except it's not a launch coaster. It has like a really just straight up lift hill. Like I wouldn't even call that lift hill. It is a lift hill, but you're just going like straight up in the air. So pretty good though. Very smooth, very fast. And like I said, just kind of built like Maverick, other than Maverick's a launch coaster and this is not a launch coaster. So yeah, pretty good though, pretty good. So far, very impressed with this park. Okay, so now let's wander down into Gotham City. They have a whole Gotham City area here, which is pretty cool. I know there's a Batman clone that I can get on here, and I'm sure I will be very jealous of the theming around theirs because Six Flags Great America had excellent theming with their Batman clone, and I feel like this place also is going to have pretty good theming with their Batman clone, whereas in St. Louis, we don't have very good theming with our Batman clone. I also think there's a Riddler ride down here too. Riddler Mindbender, I think it's called, which people say is pretty good. So we're gonna try to get on both of those. Oh, Daredevil Dive should be coaster credit number 65 for me. I don't know if I was listing those correctly. So Georgia Scorcher should have been 62. The Joker Kids ride I did was 63. No, Goliath was 63. The Joker Kids one was 64. And then Daredevil Dive should have been 65, okay? All right, let's see what we can find down here in this Gotham City area. It said the wait for Riddler Mindbender was 90 minutes. I think I will try to get on Batman first, okay? And then we'll circle back around to this later in the day. I do want to get on Riddler Mindbender though, because I've heard really, really good things about it. It just looks like a really cool ride. I think maybe it's a launch, I'm not sure. On the Batman. Those Batman clones do not disappoint. They're always really, really good, really fun. The theming as you go in there, once again, just makes me so jealous because it is absolutely excellent. I really want to do a ride on Riddler Mindbender behind me here. Well, soon to be behind me over here. But I have not seen a train go around in a while. And where the people were standing, it said it was a 90-minute wait. So I might swing back through this area later and try to catch it in just a little bit. I'm getting a little bit hungry here, so I might sneak out of the park, get some lunch really quick, and then kind of come back in. That Batman clone should be coaster credit number 66. I think it's 66 for me, yeah. All right, so I'll see y'all in a bit. Let's go. Unfortunately, this Kid Flash coaster is no more. I don't know what happened to this, but yeah, they just decided to get rid of it, and yeah, I don't think it was even around for that long. It looked interesting, because I think it was one of those ones where it was kind of like a racing coaster where two trains went at the same time. But yeah, unfortunately, no more Kid Flash. I never got to ride this, and apparently I never will. All right, I was going to step out for a minute, but Goliath is still a complete walk-on. So I'm going to get one more ride on Goliath, and then I'm going to go out and eat some lunch. All right, I got some food in me, I got some water in me, I put more sunscreen on, like a lot more sunscreen on, and I'm heading back in for round two. We went left when we went in last time, so this time we'll go right when we go in and try to get on the RMC and whatever is in that direction. You know, it's about 2:30 right now. I'm gonna hang for as long as I can here, although I feel like I only got a couple more hours left in me just because it is so hot here today, even with sunscreen, even with hydrating. Like, I don't want to get all burnt up. I don't want to, you know, get heat stroke or anything, especially since I'm going to Carowinds tomorrow. I'm going to King's Dominion the day after that. I gotta kind of watch myself here a bit. But man, Six Flags Over Georgia, I gotta say, this is hands down the best Six Flags park I've been in. I've only been in really 3 so far. Mine in St. Louis, the one in Chicago, and here. But this place is awesome. It's really good sized park, very pretty park. And just a lot of great rides in here, a lot of great stuff to do. I can't tell if the park is busy or not today. Some rides have been complete walk-ons. Batman was a walk-on. Goliath is still a walk-on. Like, I literally rode it an hour ago and it was still a walk-on, okay? And then other rides like Riddler was like an hour and a half wait, so I'm not sure if it's busy here or not. All right, I'm gonna head back inside and I'll see you guys all in a bit. Just had an absolutely insane ride on Twisted Cyclone. First of all, we got stuck at the bottom of the lift hill, and like, I thought they were going to evacuate us, but they didn't. We sat there for probably I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. And then, you know, everybody's like, are they going to evacuate us? Are they going to take us off? We don't know. And then suddenly the ride kicks on, and they just send us through. And now they're checking it out and testing it and figuring out what the heck's going on with it, which I guess makes sense, right? They got to get it up the lift hill anyway. Once you get it going, it's not like it's going to come off the track or something, I hope. Yeah, so that was a fun ride. Like all RMCs, I have complaints with the restraints, but the ride itself is a really good ride. That was a really good RMC. That is my 5th RMC now. I feel like I'm just picking up RMCs. I'm like knocking out RMCs on this trip. I don't know if there's an RMC at Carowinds. I think there's an RMC at King's Dominion though, which I will be doing on Monday. Today's a Saturday. It's hot, real hot. It's like I'm melting here in the park. I was gonna ride the mine train and then the whole thing just shut down. I don't know if it was me or what. Like, so I was on the RMC, which was coaster credit number 67, by the way. And then I was gonna get that mine train back there as coaster credit number 68, but literally we get in the thing and suddenly a message comes on saying the ride is temporarily delayed. I am not doing the Superman ride. I just don't want to do that one. That laying down roller coaster thing, not down with that lifestyle. I don't need to do that. Okay, so I went over to Monster Mansion and did another ride on that, and then I came back to the mine train and I finally got coaster credit number 68 on this here. That was a fun little mine train, definitely rough. You can tell it's an older mine train ride, but it just kind of shows you there's a lot of theming back there, and there's a lot of like kind of like little tunnel sections and stuff through it that you go through. It just shows that with like a little bit of theming, you could really dress up a mine train and make it look really cool. You know, Six Flags St. Louis, once again, come on, man. Can we please get some theming like this around our mine train? Because that was a lot of fun. I'm not even going to try to say the name of it. I don't know how they pronounce it. They said it really fast in the station. But yeah, so coaster credit number 68. All right, we got a couple more coasters to get on in this park, so we're just going to try to get on as much as we can over the next hour or so. I'm going to get some more water because it is super, super hot. So unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be getting on the Georgia Gold Rusher today. It's been down for maintenance, I guess, all day today, which kind of weird. Why are you doing maintenance on a Saturday? I feel like that's not a good day to do maintenance. Like a Tuesday or a Wednesday might be a better day to do maintenance, but what do I know, right? But I could see when I was riding the mine train that literally like the seats on it are completely covered. I think there's water that's normally around it, which was drained out of it. So yeah, not going to be running today, and unfortunately we won't be getting on this because I don't know when I'll be back at this park. I like this place a lot. It's a really cool park, but it is pretty far from where I live, so this might be a once a year visit or once every other year visit. But yeah, I mean, just such a pretty park, such great, just little stuff like this. There's a lot of this around this park, and it really works. It's really nice. All right, we've not been up in this area yet. I know the Superman ride is up here. I have zero interest in riding the Superman ride. I think laying down coasters in general are just not for me. That makes me really nervous. So I call this a boomerang style ride. I don't know if this is actually a boomerang because to me, anything that doesn't connect is a boomerang. If it goes back and forth and they can only run one train on it, it's a boomerang. I don't know if this is actually a boomerang. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in that this is not a boomerang, but I think it is. Unfortunately, it is down today. All right, so this is the Great American Scream Machine. I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to the Screaming Eagle. I know it's a really old wooden roller coaster. I've heard a few people say it can be pretty rough. It also looks like there's not much of a line for it, so that's nice. All right, so this will be coaster credit number 69 for me. The Great American Scream Machine. Let's go. Credit number 69 was on the Great American Scream Machine. That was pretty good. It reminded me a lot of the Screaming Eagle, except slower and not as long. Honestly, I would say as far as wooden roller coasters go, Screaming Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis is way better than this, but this was okay. A little shaky, a little bumpy at times, but yeah, that was coaster credit number 69, the Great American Scream Machine. It was fun. I liked it. Okay, coaster credit number 70 was on Blue Hawk behind me here. That was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of like an old school, like a Vekoma coaster. It probably is a Vekoma. It wouldn't surprise me if this was a Vekoma. It's built like one, it's shaky like one. I like the restraints on it a lot though. I did notice that it had pretty good restraints on it. They're the vest ones. I could see that definitely beating the hell out of your ears if it was like the ones like we have on the Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis, but definitely kind of rides like the Ninja at times. It's really shaky, really up and down. Not something I do a whole bunch of times, but still good to do for the credit. Pretty fun ride. All right, there's one more roller coaster that I want to get on here. Technically, I should ride the Superman, but I'm not going to because I'm scared of the laying down roller coaster. It's probably not a big deal, but I just don't want to do it. We got to get on Riddler. Riddler's Mindbender. That is the last thing we got to do today, and then we should be done here at Six Flags Over Georgia. So let's go find the Riddler.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on down! We're fixing to have a show for you. It's Shenanigans Comedy Wild West Show!
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here because at the end of my day at Six Flags Over Georgia, it started pouring down rain. Like rain, lightning, gusty winds, everything you could imagine. And there was only like an hour left in the park, and they just shut everything down. They shut it all down and basically told us, you know, the park was closed. We needed to leave. They didn't like make it a big announcement or anything for it, but it was like I talked to a few of the employees, and that's what they were saying. They were like, yeah, the rides are all closing, and we're not reopening them because there's only like an hour left, and it's just going to keep raining. So I didn't record a conclusion when I was there because my camera's not waterproof. And when that happens, I pretty much just kind of put it in my pocket, try to secure it as much as possible, keep it dry, and I just took off at that point. I left. So final thoughts on Six Flags Over Georgia. I liked this park a lot. It's really well taken care of. It's got a great ride lineup. You know, standouts to me were Goliath, Monster Mansion, but it also has a great supporting cast of coasters. You know, their RMC was pretty good. I love the Batman rides. I think that was really good. Daredevil Dive was excellent. There was just a lot of great coasters there. I do regret not being able to get on Riddler Mindbender. When I went by it earlier in the day, it said an hour and a half wait. I don't think it was actually an hour and a half wait. I think if I had gotten in line, I probably would not have waited that long because that was another thing about the park was they were doing just a great job of moving people through the lines and just keeping everything going. But so I regret not being able to get on that one. I kind of regret not being able to get on the Superman ride, to be honest. And that was my choice. I chose not to ride it. I chose not to ride the one in Chicago. It's not that I think I'll get hurt riding on those rides. It's not that I think they're not safe. I know riding a roller coaster is probably safer than driving my car with all the, you know, redundancies and safety stuff they have in place. You're not going to get hurt riding on a roller coaster. You have a greater chance of probably getting struck by lightning or winning the lottery or getting in a car accident than you do getting hurt on a roller coaster. For me, what it comes down to at those laying down rides is I've heard a lot of people say they're very uncomfortable. I've heard people say the restraints are very uncomfortable, and that's a big thing for me. I don't want to be uncomfortable on a ride. Also, I worry about how it would affect my camera in my pocket. You see, when I go to these parks, usually have like cargo pants that zipper up or they have Velcro on them to kind of keep everything inside, but I don't know how the restraint might work, if it's going to go around my leg, go around that part of that, you know, that part of my pants and bust my camera. I don't want that to happen, you know, so I got to be really careful with that when I'm in the park. Next time I go to one of these places, I might do one of those and just rent a locker and put my stuff inside of it. Or I might just do what I do here and just not go to it. Yeah. So I do kind of regret not getting on those two. Really Riddler more than anything else. Yeah, but just overall, this was a great park. I loved everything about it. I wish it wasn't 8 hours away from where I live. Actually, I think it's a little more than 8 hours away. And I wish I could go there a little more often, but I probably won't be back there for a few years. All right, guys. So if you like the video, like the video. Also, please, please, please subscribe if you made it this far. If you made it this far, why don't you subscribe? My next video, I'm going to be at Carowinds, which I was, once again, blown away by. Every single park I went to on this trip, I was just amazed at how good they were. So if you want to see that, you want to see me at Carowinds, Kings Dominion, Busch Gardens, Dollywood, hit that subscribe button so you can see that, all right? All right, friends, take care, and I will see you all later.